The 7 divisions of the mind, all on your fingertips, I'm sure. So what's the first one? That valid perceiver. Number 2, inferential cognizer, cognition or perceiver. We have the cognizer, very good. Then certain cognizer. Good. Good.
Doubting consciousness.
Then
Deceptive or wrong.
very good. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now we are going to go into more details. The first, page number 22. Direct valid perceiver. Page number 22. Direct valid perceiver. The first one, first of the 7. Definitions given there. A non-mistaken knower that is free from conceptuality. Okay. So look, this is very important. When explained, you may find that it's easy, but it may be easy. But the point is that we have to remember the points when I speak about the direct valid perceiver. What are the key points? What are the salient points? So this should be noted. And then if you can remember the definition by the letter, that is the best. If you can remember the definition by the letter, that is the best. If not, at least try to remember the key points. The key points. Okay, number 1 is non-mistaken. A non-mistaken knower. A knower is the mind. Knower is mind, that's fine. Non-mistaken. That is free from conceptuality. That is free from conceptuality. So 2 things are there. 1 is non-mistaken. Number 2 is free from conceptuality. Okay. Non-mistaken. Yesterday we made the difference between mistaken mind versus deceptive mind. We made the distinction. So what's the distinction? Anybody who remembers? What's the distinction between mistaken mind and the deceptive mind? Mistaken mind in English is tulshe, and deceptive mind is lokshe. So the point is that for you, just for information, that the lokshe, tulshe, this you can, wherever you go in the world, you use this with a set of psychology. And if you go into say the Buddhist psychology, the Buddhist psychology, then say the Tibetan Buddhist psychology or Buddhist psychology, Nalanda Buddhist psychology. Say when somebody uses the word lokshe, tulshe, you don't have to worry. Just be very confident. With the English words, we have to be very good listeners. So we arbitrarily borrowed these 2 words, mistaken and deceptive. But when you go out, some people may be using the word in an opposite way. Right? We should be very sympathetic towards what the other person is saying. Be a good listener. And on that basis, see in what does this person mean by mistaken mind? What does this person mean by distorted mind? And on that basis, you have to discuss. Don't think that this is how it is universally labeled or universally understood. Okay, anybody, very quick. How do you distinguish between the deceptive and the mistaken mind? Anybody? Yes, Indrajitla. Okay, Mike.
Thank you. Mistaken is in terms of appearance.
Okay, we should be very precise now. I give you full, I expect full from you. Mistaken mind is correct, actually. The answer is correct, but I want you to give me the full information. A mistaken mind is the mind which is mistaken with respect to the object of appearance. Okay, let us all say this again. Mistaken mind is a mind which is mistaken with respect to the object of appearance. Okay, next, what is... Okay, both are correct. Very good. Act of appearance is the interplay. Object is the object. You're getting it? So mistake can be object of appearance or act of appearance. Both are correct. Both are correct. There's a little nuance there, but both are correct. Very good, thank you. Okay, what is deceptive mind? Anybody? Deceptive? Yes, Laduna. Oh, Laduna is expert from the master's course. She's expert. Okay, yes, Shamali, Otavishi, Shamali, yes.
Deceptive mind is the mind which is mistaken with respect to the object of apprehension.
Wow, very precise. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is how we have to, say the great editors, really very good editors of any book, like Collins or Herbert Collins and so forth. All these people, Penguin, so the big, really good publishers, the editors, they are very professional editors. They will listen to how you give the answer. They will see that how clear your thinking is. You're getting it? So this is the job of the editors, to see how clear your thinking is. So this is how we should be very clear. Don't just say, for example, the object of apprehension. Object of apprehension, mistaken or distorted or good, bad, anything can be there. So let's say a mind which is mistaken with respect to the object of apprehension. That is deceptive mind. A mind which is mistaken with respect to the object of appearance. That is the mistaken mind, twist shape. You're getting it? And the way the Nishida said that the mind which is mistaken with respect to the act of appearance, act of apprehension. This is also correct. Both are correct. Both are perfectly correct. Very good. Okay, now for the direct valid perceiver, how that is defined. Direct valid perceiver. Let me give you some examples, right? Say direct valid perceiver. Okay, now this is much better. We cannot really hear the traffic. Morning, no traffic. Where's traffic? Okay. So let's say that you can hear the sound. You can hear this the machine on, the AC on. You can hear it. How do you know the machine is on? I can hear the sound. You are inferring it, or you could directly, with your ear conscious, you can directly feel it. Direct. That is a direct perception. You are not inferring. You're getting it? Okay. One thing that we need to make a distinction here is that, let's say that, okay, it will come later, but I'll give you here also. Say, okay, why don't you tell me who's sitting next to you? Vipinji, right? How do you know that Vipinji was there? Vipinji is there. Through direct, right? Through direct. Okay, where is Atulia? Your hand is Atulia. Which one? Your body. Your body is Atulia. Okay, look. When I say them, I'm Atulia, in the colleges you do that, right? In colleges, right? Atulia, you say, yes ma'am, yes sir. Okay, beyond that, ma'am, did the ma'am or the sir ever ask you, your hand is Atulia? Or where is Atulia? Did they ask you like this? Never. You're getting it? So that is the last point. This is the final judgment. This is the final point, how you know that, okay, she's there right now. And sometimes the naughty boys and girls, they also go for proxy. Right? They go for proxy. Okay, and I have many stories of these. Okay, I'm keeping that aside. So when we say, I'm here, sir, that is the sir or the madam sees you directly. Direct perceiver. That is the best way of knowing things. This is the best way. So there, how do you know that he is there? These questions will never arise. This is known as eyewitness. Eyewitness in the court. Right? Oh no, because there's something left there. This should be from that person, but who knows that this person's, right? It's inference. Whereas, no, I saw that person. There's an eyewitness. So eyewitness is very powerful. You're getting it? Okay, so that is very perceived is like the eyewitness, where you see it and then finish. What you see, what you heard. Yes, I heard somebody said. Somebody screamed. I heard it. That is the direct, valid perceiver. You're getting it? Okay. So now it has non-mistaken means it is not mistaken with respect to the what appears to you. You're getting it? Okay. What appears to you? Tell me. Flower appears to you. So your mind is not mistaken with respect to the appearance of the flower. You're getting it? Appearance. Let's say last time you put on the blue glass. You put the blue glasses on, and look at the Mount Kailash, the snow, and you see the snow appears as blue. So the appearance is mistaken. But you know that it is not blue. Snow is always white. Right? So that is where the appearance is mistaken, but your mental consciousness, the engagement is not mistaken. Apprehension is not mistaken. You're getting it? Okay, this is very important to make distinction. Now, the very important point. A non-mistaken mind, which means that a mind which is not mistaken with respect to the object of appearance. Okay, how many of you have seen moon? How big is the moon? Bigger than this hall? You saw bigger than this hall. What is the size? Like 1 foot, like this. Oh, maximum height. The biggest size would be like the 1 foot diameter, right? And then is that the moon? There's not a moon. Okay, so you have seen the moon directly? Yes, direct. This is direct perception. Now, and say for example, you are seeing your friends around. That is direct perception. Okay, you saw the traffic. Hey, you saw the traffic when you came to the Tibet house. Yes, that is a direct, valid perceive. But the perceiver, perception. Okay. And what is now a non-mistaken knower that is free from conceptuality. This is conceptuality. There are two key points here. To know what is direct, valid perceiver, you have to know two things. That this mind, the mind is what? The mind is, how do you define the mind? Clear and knowing agent. Clear and knowing agent. And if you, so you should have some understanding of what mind is. For example, let's say, okay, to give an example, let's say that there is you are put under house arrest, and you cannot go out of the house, but the windows are open. Windows open meaning the bars are there. Iron bars are there, you cannot go out, but the windows are there with the glass panes. So you are so keen to interact with the outside world. How will you interact with the outside world? Through the windows. You will use the windows to look at what is outside. You agree with me or not? Okay. Now, what is mind? Saying the physical body, the house is like your body. House like the body, and the person inside is like the mind. The mind which peeps through if there are 6 windows. If there are 6 windows, The person inside will peep through the window behind to see what is behind. A window in front to see what is in front. It's the same person. Same person peeping through the 5-6 different windows. Likewise, our body is like the house and our mind is like the person inside. So this mind will peep through the external world. What is Atulia doing? What is Ajiji doing? Right? What is the sound doing? I use the window of the ear. Then what is, what are these beautiful reflex? I'm using the window of the eyes. And then, it's a cool air. I'm using the window of body sense. Then it's incense. I'm using the window of nose consciousness. No sense. Then, this breakfast is very good. I use the tongue. Okay. So we see that we use these 6 windows. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, body, 5. Plus the mental. Okay, yesterday was a good day. Yesterday I do not see now, but I'm using the window of the mental consciousness. You're getting it, mental sense, using that to feel what was yesterday, what will be tomorrow. I cannot see that tomorrow, but I can still think of tomorrow. So that is which window I'm using. I'm not using the 5 physical windows. There are 5 physical windows. They are known as 5 sense powers. 5 sense powers. And then the other one is 6th. To know the very subtle phenomena to know things which the 5 sense powers cannot help us. So for that we use the 6th window or the 6th sense, which is known as mental sense power. Okay, now very important question. The non-conceptuality. This is so important. So these concepts, I'm trying to explain this very in an easy form and to make sure that you understand something. You're getting it? So there, don't underestimate it. I can teach you very technical way you don't understand anything, and the purpose is defeated. Right? When I try to explain things in a simple way, try to be there with me and try to remember the points. Now your job is just to remember the points. The meanings you will get it very clear. You're getting it? Okay. What we're learning is conceptuality or conceptual mind. What is conceptual mind? It says that a non-mistaken knower that is free from conceptuality. What is not conceptual mind? To know what is not conceptual mind, you have to know what is conceptual mind. If you know what is conceptual mind, then I can say what is non-conceptual mind. If you say what is let's say what is Indian, or what? Okay, he is not Indian. What do you mean by Indian? Right? First you have to know what Indian is. But then you would know that, then you can say he is not Indian, she's not Indian, or he's Indian, she's Indian. This decision can be made. So, conceptuality. What is conceptuality? You're getting it? Okay, what is conceptuality? So, this is all to do with your mind. So, now, okay, let's say that so what is mind? Once you know that, then within that, then conceptual, non-conceptual. There are so many ways of classification. What is mind? Mind is like your body and the mind, name and form. Body is like the house. The mind is like the person inside the house. So that person inside the house gets access to, the house will not get access to the outside world. House is like an inanimate object. It is like, it doesn't know anything. Right? But the person inside uses a house window, uses windows to see what's outside and then collect all the information. Likewise, the body is like a house and your mind is like the person inside the house. So this mind will, okay, are you seeing me talking? Yes, this is what you're using the ear consciousness. Ear consciousness. Okay, consciousness, mind, awareness in a loose sense. These 3 are synonymous. Consciousness, mind, awareness, these 3 are synonymous. You're getting it? In the context of the Nalanda, mainstream Nalanda Buddhist psychology. mainstream Buddhist psychology, these three are synonymous. Consciousness, awareness, and mind. You're getting it? Consciousness, awareness, mind, these two are used as synonymous. But they don't think that these are used as synonymous by everywhere. No. You know, in some traditions, consciousness refers to the person. Refers to the person, the Atma, or the soul, right? Whereas in this mainstream Nalanda tradition of the psychology, consciousness, mind, awareness, these three mean the same. The person is like the house, right? Person is the house. Consciousness, mind, awareness, whatever. Say the inside you, yes, I'm a girl, I'm a boy, yes, I'm listening to him, right? I'm learning that consciousness, mind, awareness, these two are used as synonymous in the Buddhist psychology. There is something inside which knows these things. That is that is your mind. You're getting it? Now, do you? Although, what exactly is that mind? What's the nature of this mind? You may not be aware of. Clear knowing agent that you have to reflect a little deeper. But do you know that you have a mind? Do you know that you have a mind? How do you know that? Just tell me. How do you know that? I already explained something. That I'm aware. That I'm aware what is happening around. There's one agent inside which knows that I'm aware that I'm in Tibet house. You're getting it? That is known as your mind, consciousness, awareness. And then some traditions may use the word awareness slightly differently than how it is used here. You're getting it? So you should be very sympathetic. Now, for sympathetic meaning that you should know the context. Context. Okay. Now, within the mind, what happened? Within the mind, okay, within the mind, again, there are many classifications within the mind. It is like watching a movie. If you can really see your mind, it is like watching a movie. You're getting it? So, there are so many ways of classifying the mind. One way of classifying is conceptual and non-conceptual. This is very important concept. You're getting it? Very important concept. Okay. First, I will to know conceptual. Conceptual is okay. Meditate. Okay. Meditate. Okay, let's do quick meditation. Meditate on India Gate. Okay, close your eyes and meditate on India Gate. Think of India Gate. Think of India Gate. Okay. Now, open your eyes. What did you think? India Gate. Master's course, don't disturb. Okay, India Gate. Say, what came to your mind? I asked you to think of India Gate. What came to your mind? I did not ask you to think of image of India Gate. I asked you to think of India Gate. You're not serious. Do it again. Close eyes. Think of India Gate. Don't think of image of India Gate. Okay, now open your eyes. Tell me what came to your mind. Again, image of India Gate. You're not serious. Right? India Gate cannot come to you here because India Gate is so huge that it cannot come to Tibet House Hall. It cannot come here. You're getting it? So you cannot do away with the image of the India Gate. Only the image of the India Gate comes. This is how you think of India Gate. You're getting it? You think of India Gate only through the image of the India Gate. What is that image? External image or mental image? Mental image. You're getting it? That mental image is known as, in Tibetan, it is known as tunji. And in English, we translate it as generic image. Generic image / meaning generality. These are the technical terms we have to learn. Meaning generality, meaning, word meaning, generality, meaning generality or generic image. Tunji. Tunji. This is a Tibetan word. Meaning generality. Now, okay. You look at what's in my right hand. What is in my right hand? Flower. Okay, are you seeing image? Or you are getting it directly. You are seeing it directly, not through image. Okay. Whereas now, can you remember what was in my hand? Huh? Can you remember? What is that? Oh, there's flower in my right hand. There was a flower in my right hand. Not there is. There was. There was a flower. So that flower, how do you come in contact with this flower? Image or direct? Huh? Image. So when I show you like this, then it's direct. The moment I remove it, still you can remember it. That recollection, that memory is working on the basis of the image, not on the basis of the direct. You getting it? So now, what is conceptual mind? Any mind, I'm defining it earlier. Any mind which engages with its primary object through generic image, any mind which engages, or otherwise you can say a mind which engages with its primary object, a mind which engages with its primary object through or via generic image of the object. Generic image of the object is known as conceptual mind. A mind which engages with its primary object via the generic image of the object is conceptual mind. Any mind, a mind which engages with its object, with its primary object via the generic image of the object is a conceptual mind. Okay, what is conceptual mind? Tell me. What is conceptual mind? Okay, Shalmali, what is the conceptual mind?
A mind which engages with its primary object through generic image of the object is known as conceptual mind.
Very good. Okay, so some people may say that a mind which uses a generic image. They always try to stick to what is said there. A mind which engages with its primary object through the generic image of the object. So then it becomes very clean. You get a very clean understanding. Okay. Now, if there is a mind, it should be either conceptual or non-conceptual. There's no third option. Any mind should necessarily be either conceptual or non-conceptual. My question to you. Okay. Say, are you hearing the sound? Your body is hearing it, or your mind is hearing it? Or your mind is hearing it. So this mind is conceptual, non-conceptual. Hey, the mind which hears the sound. Huh? Don't worry, don't trust my face. Nishida's so scared, you know. What? He said it's conceptual. Now he said it's non-conceptual. Now he is, showing a face, strange face. Don't trust my face. I'm checking your confidence. You getting it? Okay. Your mind is hearing the sound. What is this mind? Conceptual or non-conceptual? Huh? The mind which hears the sound. Huh? Okay, today is more confident, non-conceptual. No matter whatever you face, you show, right? Okay, Nishida's a little scared. Okay, it's non-conceptual. It's direct. You can hear it directly? Huh? No? Yes, okay. So that is direct. Okay. You sing glass of juice? Your mind is engaging with the glass of juice. What is that? Conceptual? Non-conceptual. Non-conceptual. Very good. Okay. Oh, how many of you had a memory of having class? No, how many had the dream of having class in Tibet house? Really? Okay, what is that dream? Conceptual, non-conceptual? Huh? The dream. Conceptual, non-conceptual? Hey, what is conceptual, non-conceptual? Your dream. No, I was not asking in dream, I was asking your dream. Your dream and in dream, these are different. Your dream mean with respect to now. With respect to now, your dream was conceptual. You're getting it? Dream is conceptual. Okay. Oh, hallucination. Right? You're hallucinating. Conceptual, non-conceptual? Huh? Hallucination. Huh? Okay. Hallucination per se is non-conceptual. Atulya, what Atulya said is correct. Whereas you remember your hallucinations. Yeah, hallucination happened to me. That memory, all memories are conceptual. But hallucination per se is non-conceptual. Right? Same, seeing an effigy as a human being. Effigy. What is effigy? Scarecrow. Right? With the shape of the human being kept in the field or on the house, effigy. So you say, oh, there's a human being there. Oh, there's a human being there. What is that? Your body saying or your mind just seeing this? Your mind is, what is that mind? Conceptual, non-conceptual? The effigy, that effigy is seen as human being. That's conceptual or non-conceptual? Okay, how many say conceptual? Raise hands. How many say non-conceptual? Raise hands. Yes, it is non-conceptual. Even your eye consciousness can be mistaken. Even your eye consciousness can be mistaken. If it is mistaken, it is not. If it is mistaken, it can be direct. It can be direct, but it can be mistaken. It is direct. Why it is direct? Give me a reason. Okay, we are seeing it. If you see it, why should it be direct? Very quick. Anybody? If you see it with the eyes, why should it be direct? Hey, we already learned it. What is indirect? No. Via, I use the word via. Generic image. Any mind which uses the generic image, any mind which gets to the object through the generic image, that is indirect. You are getting it? Okay, I've considered Ajirji. To consider Ajirji, I always have to go through. I always go to Mr. Pebesringla, right? I always go to Mr. Pebesringla, or I have to approach the Prime Minister. Always go through his PA, right? I go directly or indirect? Indirect, through the PA. You're getting it? So through the generic image, that is indirect. So your eye consciousness is always direct. Your eye consciousness is always direct. It can be wrong. It can be mistaken. It can be mistaken, but it's direct. Direct doesn't mean that it is valid. That even direct can be mistaken. You're getting it? Conceptual versus non-conceptual. Okay, so within your mind, there are two. Another way of classifying the mind is that the mind, one is a sensory consciousness. Sensory consciousness and the mental consciousness. The mind can be classified into two. And there are many ways of classification. So these classifications would be very helpful. One is sensory consciousness and the mental consciousness. Sensory consciousness and the mental consciousness. Both are consciousness, both are minds. Sensory consciousness and the mental consciousness. What is sensory consciousness? What is mental consciousness? Sensory consciousness is a consciousness which uses the physical sense sensory consciousness is a consciousness or a mind which uses the physical sense to perceive the object, which uses a physical sense. Mental consciousness is the consciousness which does not use the physical sense to perceive the object. Physical sensory consciousness is a consciousness which uses the physical sense to perceive the object. All other minds, okay, the sensory consciousness is a consciousness which uses physical sense to perceive the object, to apprehend the object, to perceive the object. And I know that you had to have many questions. Sometimes you're saying perceive, sometimes you're saying apprehend. Okay, any of these small details you want to know, feel free to bring them up. You getting it? Feel free to bring them up. If possible, you may forget this because these are no answers. The moment your question comes to you, just note it down. Note it down separately. So why you use sometimes perceive, why you use sometimes apprehend, why you use sometimes the word appearance, perception, and then what? Engaging, perceive, all these words, they have their different meanings. You're getting it? They have different meanings. Okay, so that any question that comes to your mind, you have to put them down, because when you go out, you said, we have a wonderful crash course for the psychology within a short period of time. What did you learn? I learned that mind perceives. Sometimes you say mind, the apprehend. What is the different perception and apprehend? Oh, that he did not tell us. You will not. You will say, I did not ask him. Instead that you will say, what you will say? He did not tell us. You will not say that I did not ask him. So I'm asking you to ask me. You're getting it? And don't tell others that he did not tell us. What should you say? I did not ask him. Okay, so these questions, make sure that you note them down. And then ask me towards the end of the class, or on 22nd, the last day. Okay, now what we're talking about is the sensory consciousness and the mental consciousness. So when you close your eyes, you think of the flowers, visual objects. This is happening on the mental or sensory. Okay, close your eyes. That's why we have never noticed these things. Now we are noticing these things. Close your eyes and think of your mother. Think of your mother who's been so kind. Or think of a beautiful flower. Or think of your, your the happy day. Okay, now open your eyes. Open your eyes. Tell me, where is this thought process happening? Where? Conceptual mind? No, it is happening. Did it happen or not? Are you sure? Yes, it did happen. But it's happened where? That's strange. It did happen. It did happen. It was nice. It happened where? So that is, you cannot show physically. It did happen. It did happen. This is where the psychology is a very beautiful subject. It did happen, but it did not happen. You cannot really locate it physically. It did happen. Where did it happen? Not related to the physical senses. It's purely mental. This is known as mental consciousness. Mental consciousness. Now, are you seeing a flower in my left hand? Right? Some people say that yes. Thinking that I'm going to hold a flower. Okay, are you seeing a flower? No. How do you know that? I can see that there's no flower. I can see that. Okay, that again you're using mind to know that there's no flower. You're using mind. What is that? Sensory or mental? That is sensory. You're getting it? That is sensory. Then later on, when you go back home, okay, Gisela just raised his left hand and said, there's a flower. I said, no. So there was no flower. You are recollecting. Recollecting. So recollection is not happening on the sensory. It is happening on the mental. This is how we distinguish between mental consciousness and the sensory consciousness. Okay, let's say the feeling of sadness is happening where? Mental, sensory. Mental, very good. And the sense consciousness, there is no sadness. Sadness is all related to mental consciousness. Say, feeling of joy, excitement, physical, mental. Mental, very good. And then anxiety, physical, mental. It's a mental consciousness. It's not a physical consciousness. You got it. If the physical consciousness is also not physical. Physical consciousness is not physical body. Consciousness which is non-physical. Consciousness is always non-physical. Whether it's a physical consciousness, whether it's a sensory consciousness, or we don't call it physical consciousness. Sorry, sensory consciousness. Even if it's a sensory consciousness, it is not physical. You get consciousness is always non-physical. Now, consciousness which is sensory in nature, sensory consciousness and mental consciousness. Sensory consciousness means a consciousness which uses the physical sense. For example, okay, I can use this flower to pull my pen, right? To pull my pen. Some people, they use the stick for the selfie. What is that stick? Selfie stick. Right? Use the selfie stick to take selfie, right? Okay. So you are not using your hand directly to hold the mobile, but using the selfie stick. Likewise, so the selfie stick is not the mobile, right? So I'm using this flower to pull the pen. Likewise, sensory consciousness, why they are known as sensory consciousness is because they use the sense power, physical sense power to perceive the object. They use the physical sense power to perceive the object. For example, say if our eyes are blindfolded, even if you like to see the beautiful reflex, you cannot see them, right? So you have to use them. All the consciousness is there, but this consciousness cannot see the reflex if you're blindfolded, which means that you remove the blindfold and then you will see the reflex. Okay, in other words, so more detail will come later. For the time being, just a brief idea of sensory consciousness and mental consciousness, conceptual and conceptual, non-conceptual, or conceptual direct. You're getting it? Conceptual mind versus direct mind, direct consciousness, or conceptual mind versus non-conceptual mind. Non-conceptual and direct mind, these two are synonymous. Okay, these are things that we need to keep in mind. With this mind, what is conceptual mind? Very quick, anybody? What is conceptual mind? A mind which engages with its primary object through or via generic image of the object. Very good. Now that we have already made distinction between the conceptual and non-conceptual, there are many very important points that we need to know, and then you will see your whole mind like a movie. Say, all the sensory consciousnesses are always non-conceptual. Conceptual means it's always mental consciousness. Sensory consciousness is never conceptual. You're getting it? Why sensory consciousness is never conceptual? Because they are always direct. Conceptual versus direct. You're getting it? Sensory consciousness is always non-conceptual. You're getting it? Sensory consciousness is always non-conceptual. Okay, give me some examples of the, say, let's say the non-conceptual mind. Or conceptual mind. Give me some examples of conceptual mind. Anybody? Okay, the memory of your yesterday's class. Don't say yesterday's class. You gotta get so memory. The memory that you have. Oh, yesterday class. Memory of it. Memories are always conceptual. Memories are always conceptual and always the mental consciousness. So these are. Okay, this will come later. This is a very good point. I know what Omala is saying. First, let me finish this. Memories are always conceptual and mental consciousness. Memories are never sensory consciousness. So these are things that we need to keep on. Sensory consciousness versus mental consciousness. Direct consciousness versus lazy. Don't be lazy. Direct means indirect, right? Direct versus conceptual. I said direct and non-conceptual. These two are synonymous. I said it. So direct and non-direct. Don't say this, right? Direct and conceptual. Direct consciousness versus conceptual consciousness. The sensory consciousness versus mental consciousness. Okay, these divisions we have to know. Okay, now going back, give me the examples of sense consciousness or the sensory consciousness. Sense consciousness, sensory consciousness, these are synonymous. Give me some examples of sense consciousness or sensory consciousness. Don't say drinking the water. Drinking the water is not the mind, it's the action. Action is the mind. The mind is the subject, object. What connects the two is the action. We're talking about the mind now. So give me some examples of the sensory mind or sensory consciousness. Teaching is action, which links the two. Your mind, just say like my mind hearing, or my ear consciousness, to make it very clear, my ear consciousness hearing your teaching. My ear consciousness hearing your teaching. And my tongue consciousness tasting the juice. My ear consciousness hearing the AC sound. Right? My eye consciousness seeing the beautiful prayer flags. And what else? And my nose consciousness smelling the incense. Right? So this is how we have to articulate your concepts. Okay. With this, let's go back now. Page 22. Direct valid perceiver. Now what I said is that direct perceiver is the agent. Perceiver is the mind. Perceiver is the mind. Direct perceiver is direct mind. And then there's the word, one word in between the two. What's that? Valid. Direct, valid perceiver. If you remove the valid, then it becomes direct perceiver. Direct perceiver can be valid or invalid. What examples do you have of the direct perceiver which is valid? Direct perceiver meaning something which sees the object directly, perceives the object directly, without the generic image. What examples do you have? No, I'm not holding the flower. My hand is low. Looking, don't say, look, this is very good. Don't say looking. Looking is act. Right? Subject, object, and the act, which connects the two. Okay, today let's say it again. My eye consciousness, perceiving you, seeing you. My eye consciousness, seeing you. This is a direct and valid cognition. How valid? Because the way I see, if you go there, I can really, it is really there. Okay, give me an example of, okay, others. Give me some examples of direct, valid perceiver. Atulay, give one example. There are innumerable examples are there. Say, my ear consciousness, oh, very good. Now there's a drastic improvement happening everywhere now. Amazing. My ear consciousness hearing the teaching. That is a direct, valid perceiver. Any more examples? Huh? My body, my ear consciousness, feeling perceiving the silence of the class, no answers. Right? My ear consciousness perceiving the silence of the class, no answers. That is direct valid perceiver or indirect or direct invalid perceiver. Valid. You are not giving answers. If direct is valid means you are not giving answers. Okay, Tavishi. Yes, very good.
Feelings like hunger, thirst, or physical.
Very good. Extremely good. Extremely good. Okay, let's say now you use the word. I understand what you're asking, but you use the word feelings. This is how we use in the vernacular sense. In a very vernacular, mundane world, conventional world, we use the word the feeling of hunger, feeling of thirst. Perfect. Studying Buddhist psychology here, so there the terminology is slightly different, is more professional. That will come later, don't worry. But this question arises: what about my hunger, thirst? This is so real. It's so direct. It's not like, I'm thinking of hunger, then I become hungry. I'm thinking of thirsty, then I become thirsty. No, it's so direct. What is that? I'm knowing that. I'm knowing that I'm hungry. You're getting it? Okay, how many of you sometimes know that you're hungry? Of course, right? So the Tavishi brought up a very serious matter. I know that I'm depressed, right? I know that I'm very unhappy. What is that? Is that direct consciousness, or that says, what is that? This is a good question. What is that? Anybody? Is it direct or conceptual? 100% direct. Is it direct? What's the object? Huh? Yes. Mike. It seems like this is coming from the old soul.
Huh?
Previous Buddhist psychology? No?
No.
Okay. Say it
So
again.
a feeling of hunger or cold or thirst is a reaction physically happening in our body that we can feel through our tactile sense consciousness.
Amazing. Very good, Tavishi. Did you hear what Nishida said? This is amazing. This is what you find in the Pramana Vardika. All these are discussed here. Your question is so good. Answer is so good. What is happening is that, for example, let's say I touch ice block, solid ice. What do you feel? Cold. You're getting it? So there's a tactility of the cold tactility there. Likewise, with the hunger, what is actually happening is very unpleasant hunger tactility is built up in your body. You're getting it? Built up body. That is your object. That is what is being perceived by your body sense consciousness. There are 5 sense consciousnesses. One is visual, eye consciousness. Then, hey, tell me, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness. Is not only physical outside, inside also. Inside also, when you feel hunger, then the pain, then the thirst, the pain. You're getting it? And then sometimes bloating. Again, the uneasiness is coming. And tiredness, also you feel it, tiredness, right? Heaviness. Okay, these are all physical. These are all direct valid perceiver related to the physical body, the body sense consciousness or tactile sense consciousness. Body sense consciousness or tactile sense consciousness. Same. Very good question. Okay, any more questions before we go any further? Any questions? Okay, if not, we'll continue. Page 22, line 1. Direct valid perceiver is defined as, in Tibetan it is Unsum. Munsum. Pratyaksh. In Sanskrit, pratyaksh. A non-mistaken knower. A non-mistaken mean a mind. A mind. Okay, now non-mistaken, you should be telling me, you should be helping me. What is non-mistaken mind? A mind which is not mistaken with respect to the appearance of the object. Okay, non-mistaken knower. Knower is the mind. Knower that is free from conceptuality. Conceptuality means that is free from, that does not use, free from meaning that does not use the generic image. You're getting it? That does not use the generic image. Okay. What about hallucination? Hallucinating eye consciousness. Your eye consciousness can hallucinate, right? Your eye consciousness, hallucinating eye consciousness, or eye consciousness seeing the mirage. Seeing the mirage as water. Is that direct valid perceiver? Is that direct valid perceiver? It's a direct perceiver, but it's not a direct valid perceiver, it's a direct invalid perceiver. Why? Why it is direct invalid perceiver? Why? Raise hands, raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, there.
Because we have mistaken the mirage.
Okay, because that mind is mistaken with respect to the object of appearance, seeing the mirage as water. That is mistaken. Whereas the direct valid perceiver should be non-mistaken. Why should the direct valid perceiver be non-mistaken? This is my question to you. Okay, anybody who can give the answer, I'll give you 50 rupees. Why the direct valid perceiver should be non-mistaken? Why? Why? Answer is very simple. You can say because it is a part of definition. You're getting it? Because it is a part of definition. Because it's defined as a non-mistaken knower that is free from conceptuality. You're getting it? Good. Now, yes. Mic.
This is a doubt. The definition itself is direct valid perceiver. So when it's valid, that word refers to non-mistaken, right?
Yes.
So, I mean...
No. Direct valid perceiver is what is to be defined. Definiendum. The definition has non-mistaken knower that is free from conceptual. So these two don't mix, don't club them together as a definition. One is definiendum and one is definition. So say valid. This word valid should be defined somewhere. It should come in the definition somewhere. So that is the non-mistaken. You're getting it? Okay, any more questions? If not, we'll go. Now, under this caption, direct valid perceiver, Munsum, under this, how many divisions are there? Under this, there are 4. You get this is very important. Once you know this 4, then we see that these 4 will be repeated every now and then in the different in the other classifications as well. One is sense. Now let's say direct perceiver. How many such direct perceivers are there? Right? Okay. Thus far, when I was explaining to you direct valid perceiver, it's always like a sense consciousnesses. What you see, what you hear, what you feel, hunger, thirst, and so forth, is all the related to sense. But it's not confined to the sense. There is more than the sense direct perceivers. What are they? There are 4. Sense direct perceiver, number 1. Mental direct perceiver, number 2. Self-cognition direct perceiver, number 3. Yogic direct perceiver, number 4. You're getting it? So, direct valid perceiver, it has what we said was that the mind can like be classified into sensory consciousness and mental consciousness too, right? So direct value perceiver, is it always sensory consciousness or it can be also mental consciousness? It can be mental consciousness. You're getting it? This is how the study Buddhist psychology in a detail. This will give you a very clear picture of, for example, it is like, say, okay, let's say that say you are in the police department or the surveillance. You are capturing all you are under control all the CCTVs everywhere in Delhi, right? Everywhere in Delhi, and the spy from other countries, they come, right? And you could see everywhere, like on your palm, you can see everywhere. Okay, the spy is running here, there, moving here, there. You can see everything. It's just you are seeing in the office, you are seeing everything in Delhi, wherever the important places, you are seeing just as well like you are seeing the person is in your palm. You're getting it? If you know the Buddhist psychology so well, then somebody comes from the Western psychology, you can see what that person is talking about. Whether that person is talking about the mental consciousness or the sensory consciousness or the what? Conceptual, non-conceptual, or yogic, self-cognition, or the mental, or the sense, or the inferential, or the doubt, or the non-discernment direct perception, or the correctly assuming consciousness. You can see so precisely what the other person is talking. You can see what the other person is talking very precisely, where it goes. Right? And you can connect to all the dots very easily. You're getting it? Okay, so this is a beautiful subject. So therefore, if you're doing Western psychology in your college studies, or you are a part of the counseling in any form, so this would be extremely helpful. You can see the person talks, okay, person talking something related. The basic framework of the person's mind is like the correctly assuming mind, or doubting mind, skepticism, or mental consciousness, sensory consciousness, conceptual, non-conceptual, experiential, all this you can see. You're getting it? Okay. And more cognitive driven, more affective driven, you can see all this is very clearly. Okay. Sense direct perceiver. A sense direct perceiver. Now within this, we are just giving the sense direct perceiver. It does not say sense valid direct perceiver. Sense direct valid perceiver. So it is sense direct perceiver. Right? Sense direct perceiver, let's say all the consciousness is related to the sense powers. Sense powers, meaning how many physical sense powers? How many physical sense powers are there? 5. What are they? Eye sense power, ear sense power, nose sense power. Atomic body. For information, for the sensory consciousness to arise, we need 3 conditions. We're talking about the sense direct perceiver, sense consciousness. For the sense consciousness, we need 3 conditions. For the sense consciousness to arise, we need 3 conditions. One is the perceptive object. One is the perceptive object. Number 2 is the sense power. Number 2 is the sense power, physical sense power. Physical sense power known as the unique empowering empowering condition. Empowering condition. Number 1 is perceptive condition. Perceptive condition, which is the object. Okay, first let me say the 3 conditions: perceptive condition, empowering condition, and then the immediately preceding, the condition of the immediately preceding. Okay, immediate preceding condition of the immediate preceding consciousness. Okay, let me say this again. Perceptive condition, empowering condition, immediately preceding consciousness condition. 3. For any sense consciousness to arise, for example, give me some examples of sense consciousness. Very good now. Quick. Give me some examples of sense consciousness. Don't say I see. My eye consciousness, seeing the Buddha image. Very good. Very quick. Putila. My ear consciousness.
Hearing Geshe-la's teaching.
Hearing Geshe-la's teaching. Okay. So you don't have to say always my. You can say your consciousness. Right? Your, his, her, mine. Okay. Anybody? Nudullah, right? Your name? Namdullah. Namdullah, give me one example very quick.
My
No mind. Mine, yes.
her eye consciousness seeing me.
Who?
Her
Oh, there are so many her. Which her?
Tamdingi's eye consciousness seeing me.
Who?
Seeing Namdu.
No, who?
Tamdingi.
Oh, Tamdingla's eye consciousness seeing
Seeing
Namdullah. Very good. Then Hamala.
My nose consciousness smells the perfume.
Oh. My nose consciousness, my olfactory consciousness, my all consciousness, perceiving or smelling the fragrance. Very good. Namsala.
My tactile consciousness feeling the cool breeze.
My tactile consciousness feeling the cool breeze. Very good. Okay. Okay, good. Now we have these. And then what the Tavishi said was, the what? Tactile consciousness feeling the hunger, feeling the pain of hunger, feeling the pain of thirst. These are all tactile consciousness. You getting it? Okay. So there we need 3 conditions. Let's see. I'll give you one example, very simple one. Then you try to apply this to all the other sensory consciousnesses. Okay. What is my right hand? How do you know that? My eye consciousness can directly see it. Okay. So, which means that you have your eye consciousness arising. You have your eye consciousness, sense consciousness, eye sense consciousness arisen. Right? For that, okay. Now what is in my right hand? Nothing. Do you have eye consciousness seeing the flower? No. Now eye consciousness seeing the flower could not arise because the object is missing. Because the object is missing. That object is the perceptive condition. You need the object. Without the object, the eye consciousness seeing the object cannot arise. So that is the flower, for example, is the perceptive object. Now, let's say that, okay, now you just close your eyes, put your hands on your eyes. Okay, what is in my left hand? Wow, that's amazing. Some people, they close eyes, they see there's a flower there, it's amazing. Right, when you do that, you become a Baba. Yeah, so there's one girl who was able to close the eyes and identify the things. So therefore she became a Baba. Right? So therefore you're going to become Baba. Okay, close eyes. Okay. Do you see a flower in my left hand? You don't see that. Well, now open your eyes and see what is in my left hand. Flower. But when the eyes are closed, you did not have the eye consciousness seeing the flower. Why not? Because there are flowers in my hand. What's in my hand? Still, you do not have eye consciousness seeing the flower. Why? Because the medium, sense power is missing. Sense power. Sense power is like the eyeglass, eye lenses. Eye lenses, sense power. It is known as sense power. Sense power. Sense power is the unique, the empowering condition. Empowering condition. Second one is the eye sense power, like the medium. Okay. Then when when I show this flower like this, if there's an earthquake, when there's an earthquake, suddenly I show the flower, you will not notice the flower. The flower is there, your eyes are widely open directly towards the flower, but still you do not notice it because your immediately preceding consciousness is directed towards the earthquake. It's not directed towards the flower. You're getting it? So the third one is missing, third condition missing. Immediately preceding consciousness is missing. You're getting it? So therefore, in order for eye consciousness to arise, you need three things, three conditions. Perceptive object, that is a flower. Then the eye sense power, you should have a proper eyesight. And then you should have the immediately preceding consciousness directed towards the flower. These three things, put them together, then the eye sense consciousness, oh, there's a flower. The eye sense consciousness will arise. So for the sense consciousness, sense direct perceiver, you need three conditions. Good. So this is applicable to the nose, sense consciousness, then the, okay, what is nose? Olfactory, hearing, auditory, tongue, gustatory, very good. Then the body, tactility, very good. For the tactility, it's not only the external tactility, it's inside also. Hunger, thirst, pain. For example, if you have appendicitis problem, then the pain is there, it's from inside. Okay. So you apply these three conditions to all the five sensory consciousnesses. What's next? Okay, mental direct perceiver. This is interesting. Mental direct perceiver. It is not that direct perceiver is always the sensory consciousness. Not necessary. It can be also mental consciousness. Mental direct perceiver is there. One example given is that okay, let's say. Okay. Dreaming mind. Dreaming mind is sensory or mental? The dreaming mind. The dreaming mind is always mental. Your sense consciousness cannot dream. You're getting it? Dreaming mind is always mental. But some of the dreams are very vivid. You know that? Some of the dreams are extremely vivid. Vivid meaning as clear as what your eyes could see. And sometimes the dreaming mind, they are more vivid than your visual consciousness. Sometimes, once in a while. How many of you had that experience where your dreaming mind is much clearer than what your eyes could see? Raise your hands. Dreaming mind is much clearer than what. Okay, good. These things happen. Yes, I also had some of these experiences where dreaming mind, for example, what I'm seeing the fly now, direct, but in the dream, what I see the fly is much more clear than the visual. Okay, so there's one. Now another thing, technically, what is said here, example given is that, say, you look at this flower for, let's say 5 seconds. 5 seconds, and then I just immediately after the 5th second, I remove this. What happened is that you still continue to perceive the flower. Continue to perceive the flower, which means that the 5, say, like this. These are the 5 moments of the flower. These are the 5 moments of the consciousness. So it is not like this. It is not like this. It is not like this. It is like, okay, first moment of the flower. First moment of the flower is the cause of the first moment of the eye consciousness. So first moment of eye consciousness will arise at the time of second moment of the flower. You getting it? So it goes like this, like this, like this, like this. So here, 5th moment of eye consciousness. What is the perceptive cause? 5th moment of the flower. 5th moment of the flower existed when? Exists at the time of the fourth moment of the eye consciousness seeing the flower. You getting it? Okay. Fifth moment of the flower is at the time of the fourth moment of the eye consciousness seeing the flower. This is how these overlap. Now, the fifth moment of eye consciousness, it stops. Then you have a feeling that you're seeing the flower directly. Your consciousness already, your sense consciousness already stops. Now your mental consciousness is operating. Your mental consciousness is having the experience of the flower, and so like you are seeing the flower directly, right? That is known as the mental direct perceiver. But this is there's a little discussion there. The point is that there is such a moment, according to the text. There is a moment there immediately after the sense consciousness. There's a mental consciousness which is as direct as the sense consciousness, but for only one moment. Only one moment, right? Okay, so that is known as mental direct perceiver. And other examples that I give you is like dream, vivid dreams. Okay, what's next? What is next? Self-cognition direct perceiver. Self-cognition direct perceiver. My question to you. Yeah, what's in my hand? Huh? Okay. Pen, right? How do you know that it's a pen? My eye consciousness can see that. Okay. Are you sure that your eye consciousness can see the pen? Hey, what about others? Are you sure that your eye consciousness can see the pen?
Yes.
Are you sure the pen is in my hand?
Yes.
How are you sure? Because my eye consciousness can see the pen. Are you sure that your eye consciousness can see the pen?
Yes.
Yes. How do you know that? Huh? But this is not the earlier pen, right? Okay, this pen you have never seen before. No, this I brought from my house today. It was not before. Huh? This is generic pen. Wow, generic pen means pen which exists everywhere. No, it is my pen. It's not in your pocket, right? How do you know that your eye consciousness can see this flower, this pen? Okay. Yes. Abdullah.
My mind.
Your mind. Are you sure that your mind sees your eye consciousness seeing the pen? Yes. How are you sure? How sure are you? What made you be sure of that? How do you know that your mind knows the eye consciousness having seen the pen? Okay, this is very complicated. This is a huge debate in the 4 Buddhist schools, particularly school number 3 and school number 4, Chidamatra school and Madhyamaka school. This is a huge debate going. It's not just Namjola's problem. It's a problem of all of us, right? If I ask this question, push you with this question, you'll get stuck there. You will not be able to give the correct answer. Okay, now say third school. Which is the third school? Chittamatra school. Chittamatra school came up with a brilliant answer to solve the problem. It came up with a brilliant answer. Okay. If we are here in this hall at 12 o'clock, midnight, right? And then we are studying the book, but suddenly there is power cut, and it's pitch darkness. It's complete dark. Okay, read the book. You cannot read it. What do? You light the candle. Then, after that, Read the book. Then you can direct valid perceiver. It has four kinds: sense direct perceiver, mental direct perceiver, and self-cognition mind. Then yogic direct perceiver. There are four kinds. How are you able to read this? Because of the light, right? How are you able to see the how are you able to read the book? Because of the light. That light illuminates the page. This light illuminates the page. Okay, now listen, this is very important. Not only you can see the page, you can also see the light. The page is illuminated by the light. Not only you see the page, you also see the light. What illuminates the light? The candle light. Don't say candle. Candle without light, it is also a silk candle. Right? So candle light illuminates itself. So the candle light has two functions. One to illuminate outside objects, the other to illuminate itself. Likewise, our mind has two functions. One to illuminate, one to know outside objects, and the other to know itself. Right? Okay. How many know? How many? Tell me. This is very important. How many of you know that there's a flower in my hand? How many of you know that? Yes, I know that there's a flower. How many of you know that there's a flower? I know that there's a flower. How many of you know that? Raise hands. Yes. So you have inside you, there's something which knows the flower, as long as also that you know. You're getting that you know that your mind knows the flower. You know that this agent inside which knows the object as well as the subject. That subject is known as number 3. What is number C? Self-cognizant direct perceiver. Or you can say self-cognizant mind. Self-cognizant consciousness. Self-cognizant consciousness, self-cognizant mind, self-cognizant direct perceiver. You're getting it? So the light has two functions. One is to illuminate outside, and the other to illuminate itself. True. So, with respect to your mind, also has two functions. One to know other objects, and the other to know itself. There are two. With respect to seeing other objects, the mind is known as other cognizant mind, other cognizant perceiver, other cognizant consciousness. With respect to knowing itself, it is known as self-cognizant consciousness or self-cognizant mind, self-cognizant direct perceiver. You're getting it? Okay, so this mind which knows itself, that is always non-conceptual. This self-cognizant mind is always non-conceptual. Keep this in mind. Self-cognizant mind. Self-cognizant mind is this sensory consciousness or mental consciousness? It's always mental consciousness, but it's always mental consciousness and is also always non-conceptual. Or is always non-conceptual. Okay. Now for your information, this is very important. This is very important. Okay, let's keep it for time. What is next? Yogic direct perceiver. Now, if somebody asks you, conceptual mind, non-conceptual mind. Non-conceptual mind is direct perceivers. Direct perceiver, how many kinds are there? 4 kinds are there. What are they? Sense direct perceiver, mental direct perceiver, self-cognizant direct perceiver, and yogic direct perceiver. Okay, yogic direct perceiver means, for example, let's say that say your body, when you are 1 day old, your body is very small. Was very small. Now it is like 5 feet, 6 feet, right? 5 feet, 6 feet, you've grown this size. So this size, from just a very tiny flesh of body, from there, it grew to such a size, right? This size happened overnight, or it happened second by second, second by second. Within a second, millisecond by millisecond, yes? Which means that our body has been moved so fast. If you cannot really imagine that, just press the timer. How many of you mobile, just take out your mobile. Take out mobile and go to the timer. Go to the timer and press the timer. Press the timer and see how fast it moves. Okay, stopwatch, not timer. Stopwatch. Go to stopwatch and press it. Start. How fast does it move? The second, huh? It moves so fast. Atulia, do you see that? Very fast. No mobile. You don't touch it. There's a benefit. I know you want to touch it because your time is going to be wasted. Can you see that? No, don't just see the repulsion. See the joy. Okay, okay, now look at it. You see it move fast? Really fast? This is how our body is moving, right? This is how our bodies move so fast. You're getting it? How many of you think that you are young? How many think that you are young? Right? Okay, believe it or not, just the very next moment when I ask you, how many of you think you are young? And when you say, yes, I am, between these two, you are already a few moments older. Yeah, that's true. Yet, if you look at yourself, I'm the same person. I had a breakfast, coming to this place. I'm the same person. Yeah, so I'm not changing. Look at your hands. Is it changing or not changing now? Do you see it changing? No. The person says it's changing. Wow, that's amazing. Exactly, this is what I'm saying. Okay, look at the other person. Do you see the other person changing? Huh? No, it's static. So this is our deception. You're getting it? This is our deception. Actually, we are changing this fast. As fast as the stopwatch. This change is happening at that pace. Now look. Initially, this is how we have to meditate. If you see that, for example, when you see that, oh, I'm young, right? This morning I'm young. Yesterday I was young. After birthday, there's nothing good at you. You are 1 year older. This is birthday, the meaning of birthday, right? Instead we expect, oh yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. Actually, you think birthday, people who come to give me gifts. That makes me happy. Birthday, okay, earlier, how old are you? I'm 22 years old. Is there anybody who is 20? Namsala? Okay, 3, 4, 20s. Or 23? 24? Okay, so let's say, if you're with the teenage girls or teenage boys, all teenage boys and girls, then if you say, who's 20? Then you raise your hand, you feel like, oh, like the teen, right? I'm 20. Okay, when you are with people who are older than 20, and then you say 20, I'm 20, I'm young. You're getting it? But amidst the people who are all the teenagers, anybody who is 20, who is 19, 18, 17, anybody 20? 20 is very different from 17, teen, and 20. I'm the one, okay. So there, and then you say that, and somebody, no, you are 21. You said, I'm 20. No, you're 21. What's your feeling? Very embarrassing, But birthday is like that. Birthday means you're not 20 anymore. You're 21. You're getting it? This is what we are. So therefore, if we see this impermanence, this change, this we have to meditate. When we meditate on this change, we meditate on this change, the transitoriness. Initially, it's conceptual because you cannot see directly. Conceptual. You practice more. Then at one point, it becomes so vivid to the extent that it's very scary. It's very scary to see that whole wall, even the wall, they are like this, vibrating. And then look at the people, they're also like vibrating. And yourself vibrating. This is what you can see on the non-conceptual level. That is known as yogic direct perceiver. Yogic direct perceiver, the mental consciousness which sees the subtle objects like impermanent, emptiness, and so forth directly. These are known as the yogic direct perceiver. And then more precise definition will be following. We will be following as we study them. For the time being, the yogic direct perceiver is a mental direct perceiver which sees the subtle objects, like impermanence, emptiness, and so forth directly. This is a very loose definition, but a precise, but loose meaning that the meaning-wise, later on when you study the precise definition, you will see that it has other qualifications as well. Okay, these are the four things. So tell me, what comes under the direct perceiver? How many classifications, how many divisions are there? 4. What are they? Sense direct perceiver, mental direct perceiver, self-cognition direct perceiver, and yogic direct perceiver. 4. You're getting it? If possible, this is what we have to do. As in, all of us, right? Go back, try to the same, just see. Okay, 7 classifications of mind. What are they? Direct perceiver, inferential perceiver, self-cognizer, correctly assuming consciousness, non-discerned direct perceiver, doubting consciousness, deceptive or wrong consciousness. Very good. 7. Now the first one, sense direct, the direct valid perceiver. Within direct valid perceiver, how many divisions are there? 4. What are they? Sense direct perceiver, mental direct perceiver, self-conscious mind, yogic direct perceiver. Okay, some people can do this faster, some people can do it more slow. So okay, if you cannot do so fast, don't worry, just repeat it. Just repeat it, and it will come to your mind very naturally. That's very important. You try to go through this over and over again. Okay. Now, going to more detail into each of these. What is the first one? A sense direct perceiver. Okay, sense direct perceiver. Sense direct perceiver in Tibetan, Wongbe Ngunsum. Okay, let's see. A non-mistaken, non-conceptual knower. Okay, non-mistaken, non-conceptual knower. This will tell us that it is the direct valid perceiver. Then, why sense that is produced upon the aggregation of 3 conditions. 3 conditions done? Done? Yes. Okay. Tell me. Say use mirage is there. You see the mirage as water by your eye sense consciousness. So this eye sense consciousness, which sees the mirage as the real water, is that the sense direct perceiver? Okay, my eye consciousness seeing the mirage as real water, is that sense direct perceiver? Is that sense direct perceiver? Yes? No? What's the definition of sense-direct perceiver? Read. A non-mistaken, non-conceptual knower that is produced upon the aggregation of the three conditions. Okay, does it fulfill all? What is not fulfilled? Non-mistaken. It is not fulfilled. So therefore, it is not a sense-direct perceiver. You're getting it? It is not a sense-direct perceiver. So therefore, what I said is that direct perceiver can be a sense-direct perceiver. Sense-direct perceiver can be valid or can be invalid. So seeing a mirage as real water is a sense-direct perceiver, but it's not a sense-direct valid perceiver. You're getting it? So these distinctions. So this need a little bit of exercise. Don't worry too much. This need a little bit of exercise. Okay, he taught it so clearly. Still, I could not give answer correctly. Don't worry, because this is where we need a little bit of exercise. If possible, try to in the group during the group discussion. And so came the okay. Okay. So the point is that during the then okay, after lunch I'll be leaving. You can have a little bit, if you, those of you who have time, you can sit together after lunch, sit together and do a little bit of review. Don't just go to the questions directly. First, with somebody like the say Indrajit ji, you can read through and then say let people explain, and if they question, just go through the text. Once you finish with the text, then you can come with your other questions whatever related to what we discussed. You getting it? And then if possible, try in group, try to say what are the 7 classes of the 7 divisions of the mind without looking at the book. Just see if you can say them one by one. Don't make it so fast. Some people do it fast, some people cannot do it fast. Do it very gradually. Then the first part, again 4 divisions. What are the 4 divisions? One by one, slowly. Then for the first one, it requires 3 conditions. What are the 3 conditions? Again, the 3 conditions. Try to enumerate all of them. Once these things are there in your hand, it becomes very easy for you. If you don't have these in your hands, even if the concepts are so good within you, there's no anchor there to hold these concepts. So these things, the divisions, the definitions, and so forth. In the definitions, if you are not too precisely knowing the definition word by word, don't worry. At least the classifications must be there. The divisions must be there in your hand. 7 divisions, 4 divisions, 3 conditions. All this must be on your fingertips. Once that is done, then you go through the discussions. What you got? A tea break. Tea break, and we'll come back at 12. Okay.